Excuse my face and the mess, I've just woken up. But I've been putting off...
Susie Sheep.
Susie Sheep. I'm about to do something really big and you're asking me about Susie Sheep. Story of my life, mate. Here you go. Can you just leave Mummy for 5 minutes? Hey, welcome back to Kicking It with Kate. I have misplaced my camera, so I am filming today on my phone. So apologies, the lighting, the footage, the sound, maybe not quite as good as usual. Let's get straight into it. The video is a bit about where I've been. I know I've been MIA for a couple of months. A reflection, I guess, on this year and the vow, when I sort of completed the vow I made to myself at the start of last year, and my vow to myself this year. I don't want to spend too long on like where I've been because I want this to be a more uplifting video, so I don't want to spend heaps of time whinging. But before the Christmas vlog that I put out of me and Nia, the last video I uploaded was the UK going into lockdown number 2. We are currently in lockdown number 3. So I know quite a lot of you here aren't from the UK, so a brief overview of what our government's doing at the moment. We've had lockdowns, but we've also had a tier system. So in the tier system, depending on your number tier, depends on the restrictions in your area. So the lower number the tier, the less restrictions. The higher number the tier, the more restrictions. So we did our lockdown number 2. We then went into tier systems, and you can't cross into a different tier either unless you've got special circumstances. We went into that. I then came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, which meant I then had to isolate for 2 weeks just in case I developed any symptoms. I did the 2-week isolation, which I found really difficult. I'm not going to lie. I then came out of the isolation. We then were put into quite a high tier, so we're quite restricted on what we could do. And I then had to go back into another isolation, and then now we're in lockdown. So I had like a week or 2, I think it was, of freedom out after that isolation. I'm a really sociable person. I really love my family. I haven't been indoors with like my family together since March last year. So that's really got me down. And the fact that me and Nia couldn't spend Christmas Day with them, and we spent Christmas Day by ourselves as well, was just like a proper blow. And I just felt like really flat. I usually feel quite motivated, excited to crack on with things. Like I really enjoy doing like my own business stuff and constantly trying to expand. But I just was like, I didn't feel creative. I couldn't be bothered to edit. Like I'd filmed a couple of bits, but then couldn't be bothered to edit it. And yeah, I just had like a couple of months from that last video of like no inspiration or motivation, being in these 4 walls. And obviously with Nia, it's pretty intense. Really just squashed creativity, and I just couldn't get myself out of that rut. I was focused on my job and work, and things with work are quite overwhelming because of COVID. There's a lot of things that change a lot. I obviously teach in a school, and I also run a business that teaches in school. So as we've had these lockdowns, schools are all closed at the moment. Between my business and my job, it's just been a lot, and I've just had to focus on that, and anything additional I just haven't had the energy for. So that's where I've been, basically. thank you to those who noticed. I didn't think anyone would notice or care. So thanks to those who messaged me out of concern. I really appreciate it. This time last year, I had been invited to speak at a women's empowerment event, and that is something I'd never done before, completely out of my comfort zone. And I'm going to insert a shorter edited version of that clip now. The full video of that talk I'll link in the description.
We're going to be talking about vulnerability and resilience, and I don't think I could talk to you about vulnerability without being vulnerable with you. So to see such a tiny baby be so resilient and strong, I became so much more grateful for things that I would never be grateful for. I discovered Brené Brown. She talks about vulnerability, and she talks about it as courage and not weakness. What makes you vulnerable makes you beautiful. Believe that you are enough and to let yourself be seen. My 2020, I don't know if it's a resolution, a goal, I'm not sure what you would call it, but it's to be fearless. So to evaluate every decision that I'm making, I'm asking myself the question, am I not doing this out of fear? And I'm really committing this year to saying, not yes to everything, but to evaluate if I'm saying no, why? And if it's out of fear, then it just needs to be a yes. You cannot be vulnerable and just expect the world to fall at your feet, yeah? You're going to fail. The quicker you understand failure is compulsory, the easier you will get over it. Now, it's life. She's up. She's going. And then she falls flat on her face at the end. That first time you fell on a bottom, she hadn't got back up. She never walked, she never ran, she never skipped, never played, never done any of these amazing things. So if at your first hurdle you stay down, think how much you're going to be missing out on in life.
So I launched the YouTube channel, I did the talk, so the year started with a bang of things that were completely out of my comfort zone. I was really glad that I did both of them. I think I launched the channel end of Feb, beginning of March, so we're broaching a year now, coming up to a year. And then we went into complete lockdown and coronavirus hit, which you couldn't have predicted. But I think there was still lessons and things that I learned and things that I was able to do to stick to my vow throughout that. It just looked a lot different than I anticipated that it would. I think I faced a lot of things head on, healing wise, that I needed to do. That was a big process throughout the lockdowns and throughout things. I became more aligned with what I felt my purpose was. My teaching and my dance were things that I've got so much joy and purpose from in my life, and I realised how much I'd been missing that, and came up through this sort of transitional period, through those couple of months of reconnecting with the things that make me happy. I think I said in a previous video I did a lot of journaling and things like that, and worked through a lot of things myself and created Confidence, which another thing was like super scary to launch Confidence. So essentially, if you didn't watch any of the videos, Confidence in brief is a 6-week course designed for beginners and for anyone who's just interested in dance but is interested in taking a leap of faith with themselves and wanting to invest in themselves financially, invest in themselves to time-wise, to invest in journaling, to invest in learning a new skill in order to develop their confidence and self-esteem. The majority of the ladies, like, the response was amazing and more than I could have asked for from the course.
Doing Confidence is by far one of the best things I've ever done for myself. The way Katie teaches, she breaks it down so easily, she makes you feel confident, she makes you feel empowered. Her teaching style is really clear, enthusiastic. it's just been incredible. I think the thing that I've gained from it is, of course, like building my confidence, which I'm sure was part of the aim of it with the name Confidence, but it's really done that, and not just in dance but in all areas of my life. I've noticed that I'm more confident in work, in my relationship, in like social situations, in trying new things. It's really been quite like life-changing actually. If you were to say to me like 2 months ago that I was to go and dance in public or post a video of me dancing on the internet, I'd have like laughed at you and been like, no, not a chance. But like, here I am doing it. And that's really just because Katie's empowered me, and she's made me see that, you know, it's not about being the best dancer or being able to like smash every routine or whatever, but it's about how it makes you feel and how you like feel the music and what that routine and what that dance means to you.
Obviously, it's the first time that I ran the course, so I also learned a lot of things along the way in completing it, and asked for a lot of feedback from the ladies. The idea initially was to run the course like a new batch of ladies every 6 weeks, and I'd teach it live and I'd run it like that. And I just realised that, and I wanted to come up with a way to create the course and could have unlimited amount of people benefit from it. And when I'm running them live, because of all the one-to-ones, I couldn't take on more than 15 people at a time. I just didn't have the time to do it. So now I am creating Confidence, but it's going to run different. So I have taken a massive leap of faith, and I'm going to speak a bit more about this in depth in a minute. I'm paying this amazing company called Social Agendas, who are marketing specialists via social media, but they also create the whole thing. So they have content creators, people who professionally film, they edit it, they do the whole thing. So I've invested in getting them to film the routines, and then you will be able to download and access from my website each tutorial for you to complete over the 6 weeks, all of the journaling documents. And I've also tweaked and made it better from the first time I ran it, and added in some tasks and some just extra things for you. I'm really hoping that we will be ready to launch in March, but obviously I'm going to keep you guys up to date. Now, next thing, for me this is the exciting thing. I really love vision boards, like self-development things. Like, I really enjoy doing them. I'm always trying to be a better entrepreneur and businesswoman and learning things and expanding. My vow for this year, so last year's was to not say no out of fear and to be fearless. This year it is to invest in myself and in my business in all ways. So what I mean, I've said it in such a crap way. What I mean by that is to pay people and to take that, for me it feels like a risk, but it's not, it's an investment. To invest in paying people who are experts in what they do to make what I do even better. That's a scary prospect for me, because the way that my business is ran, so I opened my business in 2014, and all the classes have been contracts with schools. So in terms of financial risk, there has been none. I've kind of done everything in my business myself. I design my website myself. I've just done it all in-house in a bid to save money. And I think, although at that moment it was the right choice, and it was kind of the only choice that I had, if I want to expand and almost like level up in terms of what I can create and share with you guys and bring much more value, I need to take that step. When I made the transfer of the payment, I was pooing my pants. Like, it felt like such a big deal, and I'm going to insert a clip of me doing it. Excuse my face and the mess, I've just woken up. But I've been putting off Susie Sheep. I'm about to do something really big and you're asking me about Susie Sheep. Story of my life, mate. Here you go. Can you just leave Mummy for 5 minutes? So I have been putting this off. It is the 31st, the last day of 2020. And this... Wow, George. This year I vowed to be fearless. I swear to God. Nia, you've got Susie Sheep. Can you just give Mummy 5 minutes? Is that all right? And I realised I've been putting it off. So I'm about to make the transfer because I can't go. I started 2020 with this vow and I need to complete on this in 2020, I feel. So I'm about to make the transfer now. I've made the payment. I've done it. It's exciting. It's a new chapter. We have to take these risks in order for things to pay off. And let's hope and pray I make back this investment. Brilliant if it's more. But I'm very aware this is like the first thing I've done like this. So there's going to be value in the lessons that I'm going to learn from it, as well as financial gain. And obviously, the purpose of the course is to enrich people's lives. So there's two, I don't know if you call it pathways. Obviously, if I improve, change, help one person, it's a win. But equally, from a business perspective, you want to make back your investment and hopefully, potentially, some profit from it. I've said so much. I'm in a real thinking, reflective space. It felt like such a big moment, but I think if you do want to vibrate higher and attract those things and get to that place, you have to be all in with yourself. And sometimes being all in with yourself is paying money for something, like paying someone who knows what they're doing, who has that expertise, or investing in yourself. Like I said, throughout the lockdowns, I did some therapy sessions that, were not cheap, but I felt like the value of what I was gaining for me personally, I think we're so quick to part with our cash for a new outfit. But then when we reflect on anything over 50 quid feels like a big investment, I think, when it's self-development wise. It's you really second guess spending your money, but then you wouldn't second guess spending your money on a new outfit and then a night out for someone's birthday or your birthday or something. And I just think you gain so much more from that therapy session, that course that's gonna develop your confidence, that course that's going to teach you something, a skill, or business-wise make you more knowledgeable. And I don't know why. So I'm waffling now, I apologise. But I'm going to be investing and spending money on creating things and people that have expertise in what they're doing in order for me to get to that next level now. Thank you for those who always comment, who have hit the notification bell, who tell people about the channel. All those things are so helpful and I'm really, really grateful. I would love to hear what your sort of new shift and focus is for yourself for this year, whether it's a resolution or a promise to yourself, or just a focus on a certain area of your life this year. Hit me up on Instagram. I love talking to you guys in my DMs, or comment on this video. I will see you next week. I promise I'm coming back next week. Okay, bye.